So, funny story, YouTube. We already did all of our intros, had a really fun mini podcast about classical Gothic literature and different good Dracula adaptations. You're not going to see that because that was in the part of the recording that was completely corrupted whenever I lost power for 10 minutes. So, we're just going to hop right back on in and try to catch up where we left off. Do-do-do-do.
It's alive again.
Run it back.
That's just for us and me when I listen to this back someday. Right. There we are.
I like when the repeat joke actually still works. 10 out of 10.
Frankensteining the stream back together.
I mean, I'm actually glad that if we get an intro like this because it means I don't have to shop around to my friends who actually do editing to like, please help me do this. I wish I was professional.
So how do we go about it?
We weren't that far in, so do we want to just like point out that we were basically just searching around the area for Onyx and Onyx the other way around?
Well, an Onyx has emerged. So to bring us back in, and funny enough, I hadn't started playing any audio, but I think now's a good time for us to put some audio back on. So we'll do an audio check. So the three gentlemen, the three gentlefolk, had returned back to town, and upon paying respects to which for the record, now that Onyx is here, you smell, Onyx, the stench of blood and rot. As behind your three companions is a giant, and I do mean giant, pile of corpses and body parts, filleted in many different ways with various different stages of decay. But again, Onyx, you had been looking for your companions, and upon finding each other, you have emerged from the bushes. The four of you now rejoined after the events and the separate adventures that the four of you went on.
There you are. I should also point out, probably at least Humphrey and Branson would be covered in blood.
Okay.
Good to see you're safe. Where did you go?
Oh, I heard something and I followed the sounds. And before I describe this any further, I do recommend that we not go there. Okay, so I found bones, and I found some sort of broken claw and paw prints. And I hold up my paws, but it belonged to something so much bigger. There was also some howling that I heard, and that's when I decided to come find you. It didn't feel safe alone. The howling was ominous. Then I gestured towards the bodies, like, I'm going to guess that wasn't you.
No. Look over yonder, and he'll point towards the mouth of the cave where I'm supposing the carcass is laying. Did it look like it would need to be that big to leave tracks?
Oh,
So
that looks like it could.
what you see is a rather large lupine creature, way larger than even the average bear. It is deceased. It is bloodied. It is worse for wear, with fur mangled, with blood spilling out, just pooling underneath it. At the mouth of a giant cave, one that is not the same cave that you found, instead a different one farther south.
That creature does look like it could have the paw prints I found in the cave. However, I think it's different. Also, the cave I was in, it was fairly clear from the paw prints and the direction that unfortunately, there were multiple creatures of this sort. I gesture towards the corpse.
We heard us howling before in distance, not from this one. We are very much in danger staying here.
True, but the bigger
Is
problem.
anywhere safe?
Yes, the problem. Both the routes that we want to take, either the river down towards Tragedy Stage or up to Point Hallucination, we will either be surrounded by the forest, where these things tend to congregate, as we've seen, or we will have to go through the completely open plains, where we will be in plain sight.
You know about these creatures better than myself, but I would assume they would want to stick to the woods. They have a certain advantage there.
True, but as we saw, these things are also powerful and fast. If it came down to just a trek across the plains, and they decided to venture out there, we could probably not outrun them, and there'd be no place to hide.
Hmm.
And that is,
Hmm.
and that's if we want to travel by night. One of the only things I know about these creatures is that they have some kind of connection to the moon.
You seem to have
Never liked dogs.
Mr. Branson, you seem to have more of an understanding about these things than the rest of us. While I am not versed in lycanthropy, I believe it is the name. What little I know, the thing we were fighting, as the fight went on, it was sounding less bestial and more human as it went on. Should I expect them to have returned to a human form after the fight? Something is not right about that. Just, I don't know. I want your expertise in that field.
My expertise has pretty much already been used. As I said the prior day, I was attempting to track one down, but I had no idea if they were undead, and I only had the surface knowledge, mostly because I was in a caravan. Things that lurk in the dark in the forest, typically you must know at least a little about them. Though, now that I have gotten control of my faculties, I may go back and finish what I started with that thing's neck. I don't know how primitive these things are, but a head of one of theirs might dissuade them.
Conversely, it may anger them more. That being said, I am not too inclined to show respect to the corpses of the things that have done this, and points toward the pile of corpses.
You'll watch Branson uncharacteristically shudder when he turns back to look at it again, and then he'll just kind of like steel himself as he turns to look away from it again.
I hate how things just feel so much worse now. With one thing walking around the empty town, but now knowing of its inhabitants' fate, I don't know really what I was looking for, but here's my answer, and I hate it.
Fair. Also, Razvan, bring the quiver, would you?
Yes. Of course.
Here, Onyx. We found these while we were searching the house. And he will just gesture towards the quiver that Razvan has.
Thank you. I reach my paws out, take the quiver, and equip myself with it.
There's 10 of them, but as we've seen, these things can't be harmed by anything that is not silvered. Those are silver arrows, so cherish them and find them after every shot. Also, we should Go ahead.
Thank
10
you. Do the
silver
rest
arrows.
of you also have silver weapons?
Come again?
Do the rest of you have silver weapons?
On that note, actually, Humphrey will walk towards Razvan and words and take the rapier from his back and offer it to you. I've seen you carry a rapier with yourself. I just thought of this as a normal one when I pick it up. I would feel terrible if you don't have a way to better protect yourself. The silver dagger will be fine by me. You can keep this one. If you wouldn't mind exchanging for the one you're already carrying.
Are you certain?
And thanks for stepping up, but in the later fight, you gave me the opening to finish the thing.
It is quite alright, but are you certain you want to make this trade? I have magics and at least some wit on my side. The weapon would be nice, of course, in such a place, but I do not want to deprive you of your ability to defend yourself.
Humphrey looks at the rapier. I certainly would find this to be helpful. If anything, I am glad that I can be of some assistance again.
Well-
Keep it, friend, as a token of protection and confidence. You have my faith that you will use it well.
Humphrey nods.
Also,
I appreciate that. I sincerely do.
Also, 2 points before we decide if we are staying and holding up for the night here and then taking a trek when it's safer during the day, or if we decide to move by night. We should first go back to the city hall and take all of those weapons too. They all seem to be silvered, and it seemed like whoever was there was used to dealing with these creatures. And secondly, he will point to the big bag of money that is now currently... I'm surprised that your pants haven't fallen down, Onyx. That silver is no longer money. Once we get to a place with a decent smith, as he gestures to the collapsed blacksmith shop, we can use that to silver our remaining weapons.
And as soon as I hear that it's not money, my ears kind of just droop. A little downward fall.
Well, Master Branson, as I am still somewhat injured from our tussle with what we had found, would you mind leading the way?
Sure. I am mostly unharmed, surprisingly. Use whatever magics you need to heal yourself. And Branson will... He'll again turn around, see the bodies, and kind of like I said before we lost the stream, this time though he's going to steel himself, walk up to it. You guys will watch, he's got a little bandana that's wrapped around the upper part of his right arm. He takes it off, brings it to his lips and kind of kisses. And then, I mentioned before in a different thing, he goes through a very robotic, the equivalent of the glitter gold sign of the cross, and just goes, "The debt of your vengeance has been repaid." And then he will start leading the way to the city hall, retying the bandana.
As you walk over to the... Oh, sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, no, just I hate that we can do nothing else for the bodies. A funeral pyre would be some way of honoring the dead, but that would certainly bring out a lot of attention.
I will tell you this now, with this number of bodies, we could not build a pyre strong enough to properly set them to rest. All I could do is possibly, after a day, spend most of another day making sure that they couldn't be raised. That's the best I could do, and I cannot even do that till the morning.
Very well. We follow you then.
And as the four of you head over into the back over it, this is the first time, Onyx, that you have seen this building. Surrounding you as you walk over to the town, what has been noted as the town hall, you notice that a good portion of the buildings in this town as a whole either are made of wood and burnt to a crisp, or are made of like mud and straw, indicating not necessarily any sense of real wealth or access. And this is particularly noticeable because as you come across this mansion of a building, noting that it is made predominantly of, again, really fine, polished wood, and of course, stone and mortar. You notice, as calm as this building is, despite everything that you have seen around you up to this point, there's very clearly a sense of wealth here. On Onyx, you in particular would note on a, shall we say, disparaging level. Branson, the door was not, it was shut as you all left, but it was not locked the first time.
Yes. Does it seem to be tampered with in any way, or is it now become locked?
It has not changed.
Well, Branson will matter of factly, since we've already assessed that there's no danger here and taken basically what we thought was the most important stuff, he's going to push in, wait for everyone to get in, then close the door and possibly put something in its way to just to alarm them if it gets opened.
If you remember this, whoops, I just hit my mic. If you remember this first hallway, you will note that the only thing really in here is the oblong table that rests up against the left wall.
Does it look like it'll fit in the around and by the door frame?
It doesn't look like you would be able to turn it sideways, but you have the distinct feeling that if you are able to push it up against the door, even just somewhat, at the very least, you'll create maybe not necessarily a lock, but some form of
It was gonna be a
delay.
impromptu barricade, yeah. But yeah, he'll up in the table, grab it by like the base, because I imagine it's like one of those ones that has a singular like base and then splits into like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll just grab it by that, walk it over, and just clunk right in front of the door. And then point Onyx towards the room with all of the weapons and stuff to steal.
That would be the door to the right.
Mm-hmm.
You enter the space. Again, Onyx, this is the first time you've seen it. A few things catch your eye. First and foremost, this appears to be a study. And you do see a table up against the wall that has, as described, a handful of different weapons, all propped on stands. But what also catches your eye, besides the fireplace to your left, the stairs to your right, and um, a couple of bookshelves here and there, particularly what catches your eye is the carpet on the floor is a wolf pelt. And above the table that has all the weaponry is a taxidermied wolf pup head.
I approach the wolf pup head and look at it closer. And then I observe the weapons. I turn and ask the others, do you think these have silver and would be effective against those things?
The weapons that we used to fight that were from here. And he will just... could you describe what weapons are left behind? I think the only thing that would be unsheathed would be the battle axe. I think there was one.
Correct. Correct.
Does it look to
There
be
was a
silver?
battle axe.
Mhm.
Yes, it does.
He'll gesture to the battle axe and show you that it's got the same kind of like tang and coloration of tempered metal as the hand axes that you'll see are coated in a lot of blood. It is to be assumed this was the only person who was able to defend themselves against these things, so I believe anything here would be to our use. But now I will not interrupt you as I ask for, besides the battle axe, whatever weapons are there.
I am trying to go through my notes, and I think because you took the rapier, you took the hand axes. There was the short sword and the battle axe. Did you
We also
take the short sword? Huh?
not the short sword, but we did take the silver dagger. Yeah, that was
Yes.
in a chest.
Correct. Did you take the short sword?
We did
I
not.
don't think we did.
I didn't think so, but I wanted to double check. So yes, all that's left is the battle axe and the short sword.
Branson will take...
I lift each one. Oh, okay. I'll take the short sword.
Alright. Branson will, like, lift up the, like, battle axe, and, like, you'll see him, like, checking its weight and everything, but unlike with all of the other axes you've seen him, like, wield, this one seems very foreign to him, and, like, he can't get a feel for it. If anything, I think we will sell this to anyone who will want to protect themselves. I cannot use it.
Really?
Onyx. Oh, sorry.
Oh. An axe, it seems like your kind of weapon.
This one is different from mine. Mine is... Well, mine was given to me by the voice. This one, I would have to learn how to use it. It's weighted differently, much heavier. It would honestly be too unwieldy for me to do proper damage with it.
Onyx nods.
A lot of weapons. You see that Humphrey is now carrying on his back a rapier, but because he's tiny, it's
That-
like carrying it all like pretty much like God's sword. It's like very
Listen.
big
Yeah.
for him.
I'm having to, in-universe, find a way to explain that I can only use my axe because my subclass gave me this proficiency. I pick one martial weapon, so I could have taken battle axe, but no. Well, no, great axe. But I took battle axe, and this thing is too big for him. But he will take it as again, he's a mercenary, so he will take it and try to sell it someplace. Or if anything else, add it to the things that can be melted down to silver our weapons later. So now we get back to the idea, as he will unroll the map. Which do we want to go? We only have 2 points of what are possibly civilization near us, and both have their downsides. As he will point to... I'm going to have to scroll up in here, because I know that we actually put the name there, but again, it's having to read the map.
Did
Where
we?
were you?
Did we set up?
Sorry.
Yeah. Did we put together precisely where are we?
Yes.
Because right now we have our contextual clues. We know we found a letter for people in Emherst, and that region doesn't match with where we are. Surrounded by forest, my first guess would be probably Woodsman's Lodge.
Well, we actually came out of the woods, and we did assess there was a small bit of woods, which would have been the direction we came from. Like, I know I'm gonna hate it because I can't ping.
This town is entirely surrounded by woods.
Oh, it is?
As far as the eye can see in all directions, yes. There are paths leading north and south, if you remember, and of course the tiny path that leads to the graveyard from the cathedral, the little chapel. Not a cathedral, chapel, wrong word. But yes, the little village that you are in is completely surrounded by swamp and wood.
Then it's possible that we are also in, and I will move up he will point over to the right-hand side of the map. You see that one little area that's also got a bit of a river going by it. I'm going to have to zoom in so I can read what it says. Argent Falls, I believe? Oh, but that's a conservatory.
Yeah, and that is very much lacking in woods.
I mean, it's right next to a big wood.
Yeah, but not surrounded by.
Well, nothing is completely surrounded by woods. It's because we might just be in a place that's not even marked.
Medras, the one on the very south, in front of the tragedy stage, the lake. That one is completely surrounded by woods. But
we
we have seen no lake, so I would not be inclined to say that one.
Yeah.
If anything, I believe we are within those woods, the Wilderson Woods.
Yeah, because this you wouldn't name a town a lodge. I think that the lodge is like basically because it's right there by the Road of Harmony. It's probably one of the like stopping points between all of these hub areas.
More to the south, we have places like Siska's Vantage, Riser Knoll. I don't know. For my money, we are somewhere in that patch in the center.
Well, then we are definitely in a awkward state where we cannot find anywhere to go. Give me a second here. I'm gonna take a quick peek at my spell list to see if there's anything I can have that helps with directional things. Nothing in first level. Yeah, I got nothing to try that. Ugh. Where's a druid when you need one?
While this discussion has been going on, Zan or Onyx, what have the two of you been doing?
Razvan's just been kind of trying to nurse his wounds and keep a weathered eye out, but that's about it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Onyx, I did want to note, your short sword is, from your knowledge, relatively balanced and fairly well made. If you haven't already, be sure to put a short sword, or correction, a silvered short sword, in your inventory. If you
In the quiver.
Yeah, a quiver with 10 silvered arrows. If you need, after we get to the break, I can help you set up the details of that, but just in case. 11 on.
Hello? Uh-oh, I think Discord's doing a fucky.
Do you hear me?
Okay, now I hear
No, you were there.
Right. Okay, yeah, I stopped hearing everyone for a second there.
Same.
No, there we go.
Oh, there goes Sarah.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah, my mic also stopped picking me up, so we're all having tech issues tonight.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
You
I
started.
hope it happens during like a particularly eerie or scary moment because I feel like that fit.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Oh, we did.
And the best part
It
is, like,
did.
I won't know till I listen back to this how much of the actual like ominous thunder outside my house is being picked up by my mic.
So far none. But Zan, as I was attempting to mention, you shared sentiments previously with your companion Humphrey that you didn't feel as though this was like staying in the place that you were at was a wise idea. And even on an 11, you, in this moment of quiet, as two of your companions are staring at the map, and I'm not entirely sure what Onyx is doing. We'll get to you in a second, but you can't help but notice the faint sound of howling, still somehow loud enough to be heard indoors.
It's difficult to say, but I can make out, albeit quaint, howling coming from kind of points towards the direction.
Just outside.
I would
Did
say be
hear-
cautious, but I rather doubt we've let our guard down since arriving here.
We did hear more howling while we were fighting.
Well,
So
it did put
we
out its
can
own
know for
howl.
sure. The more worrying question is how many are out there. Took a lot of us to just down one of them.
I do not know that we can do anything else here, unless you have any ideas.
The only idea I have is to just push our luck and try to get outside of this place. The more we stick here, we are in their hunting grounds. It is a risk going anywhere, but we have to move like at some point or another.
I'm no tracker, but it might be safe if we try to find areas where we think these creatures might not be around, possibly a place that doesn't have these paw prints.
Finding a place they purposefully avoid could be good. It just concerns me if they avoid it might be for a reason.
I'm gonna ask this for it because it wasn't shared fully in game. Razvan, you said that they were
Yeah.
not paying a tax here. What kind of tax was it again?
It is difficult to say, to be honest, but it appeared that whatever form of music college was here, they were not paying their rightful dues, as it were. Guilds tend to displace their debts upon each other or fortunes upon each other. But I believe it was called a wolf tax from a Bloodmoon Guild.
Well, I think the Bloodmoon Guild has sent their collectors, and he'll just wait for a second as a woo goes off in the distance.
So that is all of this debt, all of this misery for a protection racket. Is that it?
For all we
I-
know, this protection racket might be the only means, logically, of survival here.
I don't have to like it.
Saris, in his head, well, actually, he'll probably step away off to a corner looking like he is assessing something. But under his breath, he'll just start to say, Voice, I have never actively sought you out. I need guidance.
Roll me a D100.
Oakley dokily. 65.
Give me just a minute.
Go ahead.
You don't immediately hear anything, but the spot around you grows rather cold, rather fast. Unnaturally so.
And the color of the lantern has not changed?
It has not changed, no.
This is... no. Well, I will try to interpret this as I can. But at least I know you can still hear me. I gotta stop making characters who are dependent on cryptic bullshit that are not good at reading cryptic bullshit. But that's basically all I can think of.
We all have a type.
Mm-hmm. The other one was
Maybe
Russian
if we
too.
have-
Yeah,
If we
mine
all
honestly
had-
always changes based on the medium I just consumed before the D&D campaign, like session 0. I'm
If-
easily influenced.
If we
Oh.
have nothing else to find, why not make our own way? Pick a direction and we will wander. It's better than being aimless.
Give me
I
one
agree.
Well, while
We
he's
really don't have any.
Wait, which one of you is holding the map?
Probably me, since everyone else
Okay,
is.
in that case, I just glance over at Humphrey.
Actually, Humphrey is holding it up his like with both his arms up because he's tiny.
well, just a second here. I'm looking through my stuff for something here. Do-do-do-do. Ah, okay. Branson will take one of his regular hand axes off the little L hook on his waist. And he'll be like, alright, we will let fate decide, as he chucks it up in the area where it's supernaturally cold. Whichever way the blade points, we go. And he just tosses it up, not like an actual throw, just lobs it up, waits for it to come down, see where it points.
Roll me a d4.
Do. 2.
Okay. The 2. It points towards so it points what would be towards where you're currently standing collectively, towards the exterior wall of the room, the longer one where the wolf pup head is hanging on the wall.
And given my... Could I roll a survival check to assess if that's north, south, east, or west?
You may roll a survival check, yes.
Thank you. Do. 24.
If you had to hazard a guess, you would guess that it is north.
All right. The fates have spoken. We head north.
I always liked heading up north. For some reason, it always felt like it was going up in the world.
All right. Now, I do have one
Works
question.
for me.
I do have one question. Would you consider the time we've spent in here close to an hour?
In this room specifically?
Or
No.
I was gonna say, like, since we stopped
Short
fighting
rest.
and we... Yeah.
Since you stopped fighting?
Yeah.
I'd say probably it hasn't been that long. I would say probably about 35 to 45 minutes.
Oh, well, and we're about to start hiking, so no short rest for me. I got 2 spell slots and a couple of hand axes. Let's go. But yeah, I would say everyone get whatever you need, and if you see anything in here you think is still valuable, and we should start heading north.
I am good myself.
Alright. Sounds like everyone's
Mhm.
ready, so we start heading north.
Walk this way.
You start to head north. Do you, a very important question, do you follow the path?
It probably beats wading through random wilderness. So
Yeah.
I think
Never
the path
know.
probably be best.
Never know. I just always want to ask because I have played with parties before that have looked at the beaten path and gone, that looks like a trap.
Well, first of all, we didn't even
Yeah.
know there was a path, so this is already an improvement.
If the beaten path is a trap, then a lot of people must have gone through it if it was beaten path. So it's a trap worth going towards, I
It's a,
guess.
it's a trap built
Listen.
into the infrastructure.
It's a very
I-
popular trap.
I mean, it doesn't have to be an effective trap. Like, they can try to spring the trap, it doesn't have to work.
But now the better question, was it paid with taxpayer money?
Listen, if I
That-
go to a city and there's a sign that says, hey, come here for free muggings, and there's a line going that direction, I might be inclined to be like, what the fuck is this about? And wait in line. Is that popular?
I am getting the definition of mugging wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I'll be the one putting up that sign then.
to your comment about taxpayer money, I would love to tell you, but unfortunately, the gentleman who would know the answer to that is currently no longer with you.
Well, actually, no, he's still with us. He's right upstairs. He hasn't moved for a while.
Yeah, that's very true. He has not moved for a while. The blood stain, you could probably guess if you decided to look, which you haven't, but if you decided to look, probably got bigger.
But yeah, it sounds like we are taking the path to the north and seeing
You
where it leads.
are. And this is where we get to do some fun stuff. I need from one of you, you get to pick a D100.
Ooh.
Well, I will defer to anyone else since I've already rolled a D100.
On it, boss.
78. Zan,
Is
pick one of your party members to roll a D20.
Oh.
Humphrey.
Oh boy. D20 it is. Hiya. Ooh. Well, that's a nat 20.
But now we need to know if the nat 20 is good or dangerous.
I don't care. It's a
As
nat 20. Let me
The
have
four,
this.
the four of you continue along the path to the north. For a moment, obviously there is apprehension as you hear howls upon the air. And yet, even though you've come accustomed to hearing the howls, the farther you walk collectively as a group, the farther the howls drift off into the distance. There is still, though, an air of uncertainty as the four of you continue to walk through the woods. As the first couple hours of your travel slowly start to peter into a descending time, you watch as the overcast begins to grow darker and the sound of rain not nearby you can hear, oddly enough, the sound of rain in the near coming mile. You have the sneaking suspicion as you look to the sky and as you look to the ground that you may get hit with it as well shortly.
Branson just pulls up his
But
hood. Oh, sorry.
you're But as you continue walking along this path, seemingly going nowhere, with no idea of where possibly you could go, you all notice something change and shift in the road. It forks. You have an option to go left and to go right. Which do you choose?
Humphrey looks at Razvan. I get you're inclined to go left.
What gives you that impression?
I don't know. I keep an eye out, observant.
Were it my choice, yes, I would prefer to go left.
Also, you literally told us that you always pick left.
Ah, so I did.
That was his joke, Mr. Branson.
Branson's gonna look at you with the most deadpan look of, you think I do well with humor?
Eh,
But as
Mr. Humphrey, he deals with the different sort of punchline.
I would imagine a punchline to the jawline.
Indeed.
Mrs. Onyx, any objection to the left?
Works for me.
You should go right.
Oh.
Do we all hear that?
You all hear that.
Lantern check, and then whirl
Only if
around
you
with
heard
weapon.
it.
Yeah, immediately.
Lan-
looking
Lantern has not changed.
Who goes there?
Yeah,
No answer.
can we tell which direction the voice came from, or was it just...
Seems to be nearby. Like, relatively close. Not off in a weird direction. Just as you stand at the fork in the road, it seems to be coming from the same place.
We have been
must-
watched. We have been stalked. We have been spoken to, just kind of out loud and generally. But no one has decided to make acquaintance. If you wish to be a host, reveal yourself. We will be kindly guests. If not, we will decide our own destinies.
I mean, you always had a choice. You've never not had a choice. But you should go right.
Any reason in particular?
Well, he said to go left. At this point, I would like you all to make perception checks.
Will do.
I'm going to need to do the Xanathar thing to get proficiency in perception, because I think that would help.
Can I roll above a 5 today, please?
10.
Hello. Branson?
So, Humphrey and Branson, your eyes turn to one of the nearby trees hanging over the sign, and you see a little creature. Well, the best way that I can describe it is a hairless cat. Except it's gray in skin with little black splotches. Its claws are a little longer, and its ears a little too wide. Its whiskers a little too curly, and its tail a little too rigid as it hangs from the tree.
American McGee, how dare you? What are you?
No one of consequence. Though if I had to guess who, I would say something along the lines of feline.
Branson,
Question: I see this thing too now, right?
I would assume that you and Razvan have turned your gaze to follow your friends, and yes, I would say you do.
I want to hiss at her. I want to hiss at our new. Is it a hairless cat-like creature?
It's a cat-like creature for sure. It strikes you as a little off in a lot of ways, but yes, it is predominantly hairless.
Okay. I hiss at it.
No, let us not exchange unpleasantries when we can exchange formalities. I am Razvan Fleur. What would we call you?
You wouldn't.
Interesting name.
I've been god at my own game. All right, I'll see myself out.
hello, hungry. I'm Dad.
Okay, at the break, I'll tell you. I'll tell you a story, but I've been gone. All right, hold on, recovering.
I am now
I
further
suppose-
convinced that if this creature wants us to go right, we should stick to the path on the left.
I mean, that's your decision, but I certainly would advise you go right.
What lies beyond the right path?
Well, the path continues.
And to the
It
left?
goes a many which way, wanders, curves, and depending on whether or not you're feeling up to it, you might find that it actually continues into another destination. But that depends on whether or not you want to get there. Beyond that, I mean, there's wood. Um, there's wood and wood and wood and wood and wood. Oh, and you might find that one thing that I saw go over the night sky that one night. What was it, last night? It almost looked like a dark cloud, but it moved on its own, and it was more mist-like than floofy. It was very fascinating. Let out a horrific screech. I never want to hear such a thing ever again.
You hear Branson's hand clenching around his axe, knowing exactly what they're talking about. So that went to the left.
No, it went to the right. That's what your friend asked for, right? Right?
Indeed. Well, if it's all the same to you, may I ask what you are doing here?
Lounging.
As good a task as any. Well, my
Proceeds to
friends,
stretch its toe beams out, extending its long, gnarly claws. You notice that one of them is broken off and mangled.
well, my friends, low as I am to be trustful or mistrustful of a friendly host, I would recommend we go a place to at least have some direction than none. Much as I
I mean,
wish to go,
you have
much as
two
I would wish to
directions.
go left, I think perhaps going right might be worth our venture.
You do have two directions. They both go to a place. That much I can promise you.
That does tend to happen when you follow a road.
Quite.
Here's a question. Which road leads to people?
Depending on how long you decide to stay, all of them do. I mean, who else made them?
I will go where you all want to go. If you choose right, that is fine with me.
mistrust this creature, but I will follow where everyone else wants to go.
I mean, you don't have to trust me. It's not about trust. It's about decisions. I think you and I can both agree to that. But then again, to go in or go out, to go left or go right. How do you know
I'm
which
free.
one you actually want to do?
I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this? You've been rather quiet.
Just actually gathering my thoughts on the matter. And he looks at the creature on the tree. Thing is, one doesn't have to be a genius to know you're just toying with us. My question now is to what objective? Because you are not just lounging here. It would be unusual, but I guess that's overextending my assumptions of this place. No, you are here for something. So why don't we go through the theatrics and just tell us what you are looking for? Just
I'm not
entertainment,
looking for.
or do you expect to gain anything from us?
I mean, I'm not looking for anything. I'm lounging.
Uh-huh.
But on the topic of gaining things,
And there we are.
gaining things, gaining things, gaining things. I haven't gained anything for a while. Although that hangnail I've gained, that's been pretty nasty. I don't know. Oh, right. Gaining things. More like losing things, actually.
Certainly seem to be losing a lot of time here.
Quite. But we all have time on our hands, do we not? Well, that requires having hands.
Would you care for me
Nevertheless,
to assist with your malady? Pointing towards the nail.
oh, I'm sure it'll grow back in time. I do appreciate the offer, though. But yes, you were asking about losing things, not gaining things, losing things. See, I'm about losing things, the things that are currently in my way, and they are being lost in real time. That I'm so grateful for. I should thank you, really. You did that, right?
The wolf.
I mean, that's a word for it.
What would you call it?
Many things. Perhaps by its name, although that would require me to know its name. Perhaps.
Which you don't.
By its... I don't, correct.
So are we gonna talk in circles, or are you ask what you want of us?
I told you I want you to go right. I was very upfront about that, to be very clear. You just didn't listen to my warnings. Well, they weren't really warnings, so I guess I can't fault you for that. But you asked what I wanted, and I told you up front. You should go right.
Oh, Master, you wouldn't. You have been nothing but ever present and ever clear. So thank you for your guidance and wisdom. But if I had the choice, as we are all seemingly at this crossroads together, we are here because of fate. Let us not change that. And you'll pull out a coin. Heads left, tails right. Unless there's any
Okay.
objections.
Humphrey looks at the thing in the tree. Objections certainly are to the right now, but I follow you.
Alright. Two is heads, one's his tails. As it is. And I've already forgotten which direction I said was which.
You actually,
Heads
you
is
actually
left, right is tails. Right? Or
We go
Yeah,
left!
You're correct. Yeah.
Razvan flips a coin, forgets everything, and just goes left.
this is perfect for our group.
Incredible.
I mean, we figured this out by first tossing an axe, then we flip a coin. Where it's like, fuck it, we ball.
And then you ignore the coin. Incredible, honestly. So I take it you're going left then.
Aye, it has been a
Yes.
pleasure and I appreciate your clairvoyant guidance. Until next we meet, which might be soon, might be never.
It'll be sooner than you think.
Oh, good to know.
That much. Well, I don't like to make promises, but that one I can promise, technically. So long as nothing happens along the way and you don't get lost or disrouted or dissuaded or dismembered or other words that begin with dis.
Quick question, Ceres.
Hmm?
May I roll an insight when our friend over here, like to check what the response was when we decided to go left and ignore the right?
Sure, absolutely. Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, just want to know if there is frustration there, like how much bother them that we are not picking the right.
Mhm.
That's a 14.
You see mixed emotions on this creature's face. What you can detect from your time spending with your other feline companion, of which, for the record, Onyx, I'm not going to make you roll an insight on this. You pass automatically. There's a combination of curiosity and mild frustration, but more so curiosity and less so frustration. But there's both present. It sort of shows up in a wrinkling of the nose and a twitching of the ear and a blinking of the eye with the pupils slitting into sharp, sharp lines. Which, for the record, now that you've actually taken a close look at it, the eyes are a bright, vibrant lime green.
Hmm.
And thus, you continue to walk left.
Uh,
But
can
in keeping those. Yeah?
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Branson would wait till everyone starts heading left, and he'll just turn back to it. Know that there is one thing that is completely certain: if you ever try to attack us, you will die. And then he will turn and walk away.
Oh, believe me, I already know that. I know a great hammer when I see one. And for the record, Branson,
Mm-hmm.
as you turn around to say this to this creature, you've watched as it has stood up and stretched its long, gangly limbs and its arched back. And it continues to pad and hop between branches, getting closer to you and following.
Oh joy! And then he'll just start. He will take up the back, but he will constantly just be keeping it one hand ready for one of his weapons. Most just because, again, the uncertainty.
For sure. And as the four of you continue, you begin to notice something interesting as you continue to walk. The trees around you begin to, as you continue down this path, of course, you have to your left and to your right, and you would understand that to your left is more of a southwestern, based on Branson's previous role, direction, and a northeastern to your right. You notice along the northeastern path, or like the side of the path, something interesting about the trees that you immediately begin to notice, and it does not require a perception check from any of you. The trees begin to grow a bit more sickly, as if withering but more so in subtle ways at first, but as you continue to walk for the next, I would say, 15 minutes, you begin to notice fewer leaves to one side and more to the other. You begin to notice fewer, well, let's say, evidence of other smaller creatures, such as nutshells laying on the ground or scratches in the ground indicating maybe perhaps tracks, and more so on the other side of you. As you continue and you continue to walk, I need all of you to make me yet again another perception check.
Will do. 24.
18.
There you go, Zan. I took that one for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Okay, Sheila, how many 10s has this been in a row?
I don't know.
Okay, only 2. All right, if we get a third
It
10.
feels like more.
Yeah, it does feel like more. But, first and foremost, I will start with our lowest of 8. You begin to notice, first and foremost, Branson, that as these trees begin to wither and life seems to deteriorate from them, you don't notice your lantern change color. But what you do notice, almost passively, until you have a moment of realization, that again, with the absence of life, you also don't notice the absence of death. Like, they're not, like, you've seen dead trees before, and these don't quite look dead. Not yet, anyway. And the other thing that catches your attention, Branson, is that the sound of rain, you actually begin to hear it more and start to realize that maybe it wasn't rain that you were hearing, which is odd because you know the sound of rain. You're very familiar with the sound of rain. But that's the sound of water rushing, not falling. Strikes you as odd. You all swore that it was the sound of rain falling. So why now is it the sound of water rushing instead? To my 10, Onyx, you notice that creature that you met at the sign has still been following you. But they have not been on the path. They have been rummaging around from bush to tree to bush to tree, sometimes climbing and sitting, sometimes getting farther ahead, sometimes you lose them, and then again you see a tail pop out from another bush. And it strikes you as odd. And as for my 18 and my 24, Razvan and Humphrey, something else. 2 things strike your interest. Is number 1, you're almost entirely certain that you saw a tree itself move, specifically from the northeast. And number 2, it reaches a point where you're pretty sure the shape of some of the trees, not all of them, begin to look more humanoid than they do. Like you ever look into like the bark of a tree or look at some type of natural thing for far too long and it starts to almost look like it has a face?
Yep.
Except you're seeing what almost looks like muscular systems, and then for a moment it's back to looking like a tree again, or a skeletal system, but then it starts to just look like a tree again. You continue to see this. You continue to see this almost illusory back and forth, as if the woods themselves cannot determine whether or not they want to remain natural, tree-like, or if they want to look something a little bit more obscure.
Am I the only one getting a bad feeling about this place?
If I had more magic, I would attempt to see if it's desecrated. It feels off.
It is difficult to say. As low as I am to forget the dead and every atrocity that we have seen thus far, I believe it would be wise for us to try to adapt to what we have found. Those that we find are uncaring or unwilling to try and make change in this place. They are given to the nature of this place, and I believe so must we be, at least in part. Be fearless, as they have been.
So we keep moving forward.
We keep moving
this-
forward.
Getting this far, I don't believe there was any intention of going back.
Indeed.
Onyx, I would like you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Okay.
We go forward, guys.
Well, we chose our own adventure. We just went to the wrong page.
Oh, we're okay. I'm okay.
It's not a 10.
27. Look at
That's a
that.
natural 20 with a total of 27. Something brushes up against your tail and you well, I will let you tell me how exactly do you dart out of the way of whatever it was that brushed up against your tail.
Does it just nothing grabs, right? It's just like a slight brush.
It's just a slight brush.
Okay, I move my tail away from whatever could be touching me, and then I leap into the air and turn around toward the direction of whatever brushed my tail.
It's a giant branch, but it's very low to the ground. And its twigs and little vine bits that are wrapped around it, sort of almost for a moment in their still frozen state, almost look like fingers.
I walk towards the branch and I bat at the finger-like things coming from the tree.
You know how like a twig will like boing,
Yes.
right?
Am I boinging the twigs?
You're boinging the twig. Yep. It just boing, 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 boing,
Excellent. I do it faster now.
boing,
Just
boing,
keep
boing,
hitting
boing,
it.
boing, 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 boing,
All
boing.
right, Mrs. Onyx.
Fine. I pull my paw away and back off. Just making sure that these fingers wouldn't try to hurt us.
Well, if they did, you'll just watch as Branson points to a random spot near that thing, and a small strike of lightning as he casts Sacred Flame. They will learn their betters. It's almost like Branson has spent a lot of time in the woods, and he knows a tree's natural enemy is lightning.
Onyx,
At that, I turn and yes.
you answered my question. Sorry, continue.
At that, I was going to turn. At the lightning, I was just going to turn and join the party.
As you do.
Done with my boinging.
As you do. As you turn your back on the branch and join the party. I must ask, do the other three of you continue facing Onyx in this moment?
I would assume at least I would
Humphrey
be,
would
because
do so.
Branson's pulling up the rear, so I assume that he's got everyone in his eye.
Mm-hmm. And Zan? Razvan?
Yeah, I think Razvan would be looking towards whoever was talking last.
Cool. The three of you all notice that the branch slowly begins to pull back into the brush.
Trees are alive.
Is someone there?
Quite.
From
Is
now
it the
on,
same voice?
It is the same voice.
yeah. I say Branson just like turns slowly to him like stone grind. It's like, from now on, I'm calling you annoyance.
That is one adjective that I have been referred to as, yes.
Well, annoyance. Any words about this place?
I said it was an adjective. I didn't say it was a noun. It's not a proper noun.
Well,
I
until you give
suppose.
us a name.
Well, I can't give you a name. It's mine.
Annoyance
Would
it
you
is
bore?
then. Me just battling the nearest cat.
Well played. Well played. Well played. I mean, there are many things that you can learn about this place. What exactly do you want to know? Oh, by the way, little blobby dude, little blobby man, you may want to take 2 steps to your left. That particular branch is reaching out for your arm.
Do I see that?
You do.
Humphrey will move a little to the left. Just slap the slap the branch.
Do you? I'm sorry. Did I hear that correctly? Do you slap the branch?
Yes.
Make an
Like-
attack roll.
Oh boy.
You miss.
That's a 13.
It boings. You slap it, and it boings. It feels weird as it almost. And it for the record, for those of you watching, it looks a little weird too, because there's definitely a moment where you swear that the pointy end of that branch is going to go through his hand. But it sort of springs back, and as it does, it launches the branch and it sort of wobbles in the air.
Well, he's going to say this very loud. I spent 2 years training in the wilderness cutting down trees with this axe. I am proficient in that. Attempt to touch me and my friends again and I will fell you.
The tree makes no response.
He did not expect
Humphrey
one.
just-
He's basically just... He's throwing it out there. You guys want to die, I will cut you down.
Yeah, Humphrey moves farther away.
Do you continue to stare at it?
A little bit, yeah.
It reaches out a little bit farther.
He looks around to see if there is any more moving branches.
With advantage, roll me a perception check.
Will do. That's a 19.
You do. In fact, there's one currently moving towards Razvan's cape, and another that seems to be coming from above, aiming towards Branson's mace. Giant hammer.
I believe it's fair time for us to start moving. He will point to the other branches with the dagger, like quickly.
You'll actually hear Branson say something in a language that I don't think any of you know, but for context, it is celestial. As 1 second here. It's everything within 5 feet, which Branson is taking up the rear, so he should probably not be able to hit any of the party with it. Word of Radiance, DC 14 con.
Fails.
Okay, you'll watch as literally electricity just jumps out away from his body towards the nearest thing, which is this branch, and it hits it.
You watch as it immediately upon striking it begins to shrivel and like writhe. You it kind of looks the way that, I'm so sorry for this description, but if you've ever seen like an insect die in the way that it curls in on itself,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of looks almost like that, but it doesn't quite. Again, there's something off about it where it doesn't quite look dead. It's hard to explain. But as Branson, you've been one to see a lot of dead and a lot of living trees, even without being a druid or a ranger, just from your background. Something strikes you as so odd about this, whatever it is that's happening here.
These are not normal trees, and they're not even normal magical trees. They're unnatural. Make haste. And he will be taking up the rear, but he is very much power walking, and so you should probably power walk unless you want to get run over by him.
Yeah, Humphrey will start moving too.
And as the four of you continue to move, before I do anything else, I actually think this is a great time for us to take a quick little break.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Also,
This is also the DM's way of saying I need more water and I also need to grab a snack.
Go ahead. I will MC. I want to thank everybody for sticking around since we've had such an erratic stream with weather conditions and everything. Luckily, I mentioned this to the group, but I didn't say it earlier. There was a tornado warning. It has since passed in my area. I'm usually pretty lucky with where I'm located that typically they don't congregate around this area, but I do constantly get the ripple effects. But I am safe and all is good, so thanks for sticking around through all the chaoticness that the people on YouTube have no idea about.
Well, till now you mentioned it.
I mean, yeah, but it's like... I just want to thank all these people because they've been really nice all stream. But yeah, no, this has been fun. I also love we went from super serious, dark, like, gothic tones to we're a bunch of idiots. That's one of the best parts about D&D.
It was quite the tonal shift.
Yeah. I know they can hear this. I can't wait for Saris to have to change whatever the name on the handout they have when they eventually have art of this creature from whatever it was to Annoyance. We have adopted the goblin, and now he is Hoblin Goblin. Also, I hope everyone has a good Memorial Day weekend for those who are in the States, or a good Monday for those who are not. Though I do think it's also a bank holiday in the UK, so they also get a day off. Which, hey, if anyone in the UK actually follows these streams, let me know in the comments. I love to hear comments from everybody. It lets me know if there's anything I need to tweak, or just, like, is a lovely bit of encouragement. There's several people who just, all they do is comment on one video. They're the only comment, and it's just a nice little thing because I get a buzz on my phone, and I see it, and I read it, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm glad that you are having fun. I feel for you, Booyah. The only reason I don't have to work is because I work in delivery, and every place I would deliver to would not be open. So my boss is like, just take the day off. Me and Saris were both actually talking about this before the stream. This is the first time we've had a Memorial Day, and we don't know how long. Okay, where are you on my phone? Okay, just move that over there. Trying to think about something here. Oh yeah, I know that we have a few people here who also were there for our no level or extra. I never remembered the answer, but the manga I just started that I was going to tell Zako about, and I will tell all of you about it, and you should probably start reading it. It's called Dan Da Dan, all one word. It is the most hectic, chaotic, incredibly well drawn manga I've seen in a while, and I will give you the premise here. In the first chapter, before the end, one of the two main characters gets possessed by a ghost that steals their genitals, and another one gets abducted by aliens.
Yeah, I believe they announced an anime adaptation for that one not too long ago.
Which is crazy because they're only 21 chapters in. Like they do not have enough content for that, but it'll be, now that I know it's getting an anime, oh boy, I can't wait to watch it. Like seriously, that's one, Citric, I would say it's 100% up your alley.
Might be.
But now that you're here, I'm going to use the bathroom.
No, you're forbidden.
Sorry.
Use yourself.
Nope. My stream, my rules. Be engaging.
But I don't want to. Hello, chat. How we doing?
All right, Citric, what'd you have for breakfast?
I didn't have breakfast. I usually don't have breakfast.
All right, if you have breakfast, what's your go-to?
Ooh, if I had to. Probably toast with cheese and ham, butter. If I get to have eggs, eggs are great.
Pretty standard affair. What kind of
That's
cheese
right.
you go for?
Ooh. Usually have like slices of Gouda, because that's kind of the default around here. Ooh.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You don't see much cheddar where I live. It's kind of a rarity. The default around here would be Gouda. I don't know if you're familiar with Ranco cheese. That's
Yeah.
more. And I don't know if like it has a different naming translation. It's called here they call it mantecoso. It's a very chewy cheese. It's very rich in flavor, very nice. Like that's the other default.
Okay.
I actually know a little bit about this, but yeah, that's probably because cows in the southern hemisphere they are completely different breeds. Because I only know this because I watched a video about Fidel Castro, who tried to breed Holstein cows that could be kept in the southern hemisphere. Because he is addicted to milk byproducts, specifically ice cream. Like if you want to just like watch a 12-minute video of basically just, this is a stupid fact of history that's a shit post, but it's all completely true. Look up Salmonella on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a whole video on just Castro's crazy dairy obsession.
Speaking of, really weird that that channel was quiet for years and he came back a little bit ago.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of this stuff because he has again a big 4chan following. He was apparently in a thread somewhere on 4chan where he just said, "Yeah, no, I'm going to college and it's really really hard to make videos and actually like get this degree. So I'll be back eventually." And then he came back eventually, and now he's bored, so he's not putting out a video yet.
I mean, respectable.
Yeah, I mean, hey, better yourself.
What about you, Sam? What's your go-to breakfast?
My go-to? Usually chorizo and eggs.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I'm like I usually just like stick to 2 meals a day. It's just what I do. I don't really have breakfast. It's just like lunch and dinner.
I got to get something to soak up the various alcohols or things in the morning. So it's usually like chorizo, eggs, bread, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I made the mistake yesterday. Well, it was either yesterday or Friday to get a pizza, but I got too close to when I start my usual night of drinking, so I had to drink twice as much because I was like, oh no, I put so much dough in me. Also, Sarah says their go-to breakfast is bagel with cream cheese and some fruit.
That's lovely.
How about you, Sheila? You here? Oh, guess not.
Take that as a no.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
I think
they are
the-
muted. That makes sense.
You know, there is a like a place nearby that does like lovely bagel with cream cheese, salmon, and roasted tomatoes. It's really good.
Oh, that sounds fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've only actually recently started doing breakfast, and it's not a good breakfast. It's just a symptom of being a driver. But now every day, in the morning, I go to Quick Trip. I get 3 hot dogs, and if I'm feeling like I need to treat myself, I get one of their really, really nice glazed donuts and some
Ooh.
apple juice because I like to have something healthy in my morning. Also, I can do all of that in 5 minutes, and so they don't know that I've gone off my route to do it.
I'm back and I missed most of that.
Welcome
We're-
back.
We're talking about ideal breakfasts, and I was mentioning that I do mine on the clock every day, and don't tell my bosses. And this is why I've never told any of them my streaming account.
Wait, does coffee count?
It does.
Okay, because that's breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I love coffee.
I can't start without my dose of black caffeine.
Same. I just keep buying like different types of coffee and
Yeah, I get that.
I start.
I have a cheap end like espresso machine because I'm not a fan of the espresso stuff. I like a fresh pressed espresso, and that's just lovely in the morning.
Honestly, I'm
Which
surprised.
I'm glad that,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, and I'm glad I found that model because like you go looking for like proper espresso machines that go for a hefty price. Like
Mhm.
it's not a cheap hobby to get into coffee.
That is true. It is possibly one of my most expensive grocery items.
Yeah. Like getting
To
a
be
good
fair, I consume a lot of it, so I feel like it's worth it.
you're getting your money's worth. Yeah, because getting a good roast like that is not cheap either. And the thing is, like a lot of store-bought stuff like do the trick, and like they don't have to be bad if you find the right brands. But yeah, if you want to go fancy, it's going to like dig a hole in your pocket rather quick.
Yep.
Also, it feels like we've done so much more than we've actually done, especially with like the hiccups earlier. We've only been really like going strong for an hour and a half, and it feels like we've been doing this for like 3 hours in the best way.
I would
fair-
hope it's in the best way and not in the way of, oh gosh, this is taking forever. When's the next thing happening?
No, let me put this way.
be,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no. To be fair, you have to consider we had like a half an hour of fighting tech issues.
Yes.
Well, and I'm saying this more in the way of my ADHD is super bad. So when I say I'm so absorbed in something, I thought I've been doing it for longer. That's a good thing. It means I have been here. I have been rapt attention for everything, and I'm just happy that we could possibly do more.
I have acquired curry.
Hell yeah. Citric, do people eat llama?
I think they do, but not something that is common around here.
What does it taste like?
I'd imagine it'd be something similar to horse, which is why again it's not like regularly eaten.
Hmm.
I've tried camel in the Middle East. I did
Ooh,
not
what was
know
that
it
like?
was camel. Gamey.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Ever since I was a fan of Shokugeki no Soma, I've always wanted to try bear, but I'm just far enough in the Midwest where bear is not commonly hunt.
Hey, Sheila,
Yes.
you would be proud of me in this moment.
Huh?
This curry is hotter than I usually eat it, and it's very good, and I'm enjoying it.
Yes, that's excellent.
It's still probably not as hot as you like it, but
Which, to be fair, like no one needs to like. I don't think I've met people that eat food as hot as I do, and I'm like that's completely fair. Like it's not. I've realized recently that it's not normal after a friend had a snack of mine and started crying. I'm like, okay, that's
oh no!
clearly
Spices-
it's not me.
Spices also hit different. It's not just a Scoville thing. It's like a flavor palette thing too, right? Because Like, I know
Yeah.
people who grew up in like Louisiana, like eating really spicy Cajun food, and then they'll try Korean food and they're like dead. It's like it's different flavor profiles than what your tongue and what your palate is used to.
Yeah, so far I haven't tried like I've tried spicy food from like everywhere almost wherever I've
Mhm.
traveled across Europe, Southeast Asia, other Asian countries in America, like the different states. And again, like when I was a kid, my mom would pickle things like ghost peppers and stuff. So it's not, and we use that as a marinade. So
Ooh.
Yeah.
I grew up just
Mhm.
eating like really spicy food, and it's something that I'm very fond of. So,
Also,
but yeah, I didn't. It's yeah. I don't expect other people around me to eat food that's spicy, but every time like I have friends over or something, and if they want to get Indian food, like my partner and I will just order because I just put too much like I just have an inclination to put too much spice into things.
Well, the other reason I thought to bring it up in the first place is because when we were eating food together, you lightly jabbed at how mid my spice tolerance was, and so I was like, hey,
Oh
I'm
no, that
eating
wasn't
something.
directed at you at all. It was to like the waiter
Oh,
that shouldn't have asked me another Indian person that question.
oh, got it. I
It's
misunderstood.
it's
Still,
always towards the other Indians. I'm like, come on, don't do this to me. Like you know
but
this. Also,
but
I'm like, they could. Most places usually can tell that I'm South Indian, and since the restaurants are North Indian, I'm not really going to find things that spicy.
mm-mm. But I did want to comment. I was like, hey, you'd be proud of me. This is hotter than my usual tolerance, and I'm enjoying it. I'm thriving. This is very good.
but are you moisturized?
Oh,
In-
when I tell you I have a pitcher of water here.
Also,
That's
Bubba has this kind of beat. They've had llama, bear, moose, and kangaroo.
Ooh.
oh wow. I
Boar
was
is
gonna
nice.
say though, if we're
Boar.
all
Hmm.
back,
Sure.
do we wanna get back going?
Sure thing.
Yes, yes, I do have to hop off at like 7:30.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I wanted to be mindful of
I have a
time. You got about
graduation
an
party to attend.
Wow, me too, actually.
Oh, excellent.
so
Are you both sure it's not the same one?
I'm fairly certain, unless
Yes, this is my niece who graduated nursing school. So
so
likely.
where did it go? You all continue to walk. Yeah, as you continue to walk though, each of you in your passive perceptions and your active perceptions will note that as you continue to walk, the branches do become a bit more aggressive. I do need for the moment a couple of dex saves from all of you.
Oh
We're
boy.
starting off strong.
Why would you do this to my boy?
soft 20.
Next save, let's go.
14.
It's a 19.
Oh, 8. Yeah, my luck has worn off.
You know, at least you gave me back a
My
bardic
luck had lasted
inspiration.
one round.
Well, how fitting. I feel thematically this is very appropriate, and considering how things were unfolding before the break. Um, I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sheila, but if something were to randomly grab Onyx's tail, would she yowl?
Yes.
Congratulations. Onyx is now yowling.
I I will let you go through the rest before doing anything.
Oh, you all, the rest of you passed, but Onyx, unfortunately, there is now what appears to be a thicket, like a very small thicket of vine and twig wrapped around your tail, with a gnarly looking branch just hanging out from the thickets to the side of the road and the clearing.
Yeah, I would assume the closest one of us, if not Onyx herself would go and chop that bit of branch.
Branson did say
I'm
he
trying to
warned all
find-
the trees.
Okay, let's see.
So do I roll the hit?
Yeah, you
There we
rolled a
go.
hit.
I got my cat yowl.
Oh, that's a 9.
I'm so sorry, but just as you move to hit it with your mace, it retracts back, letting go of Onyx's tail, but it retracts back and out of the way. And I would actually love for you all to roll me some initiative.
Oh boy.
And
I
I have
also
a
grab
fun.
onto my injured tail just before then.
You were saying?
I have a fun little announcement
Ooh.
and a fun little shout out. We have official campaign battle music,
Let's go.
Ooh.
courtesy of our one friend, X Wiley Willie.
This is so
Oh,
great
heck yeah.
because we didn't. This is the one episode where we don't use the theme song.
Lovely work. We're in
Oh,
danger. We are in
yeah.
danger.
he did a phenomenal job. We unfortunately do not have a map for this, so it's going to be predominantly theater of the mind. Though I can't imagine that you would really need a map for this, as 5 almost humanoid-looking, warped-like trees slowly lumber out from the tree line and onto the path. Okay. Amazing.
It just sorry, the mic cut off for me for a second. I just got to lumbering across the path.
Yeah, they've approached. They are approaching you.
5 creatures, 5 trees.
With the top of the initiative order, first and foremost, because you all have dubbed them Annoyance, Annoyance is going to let out a, "Oh, this is quite dreadful. I don't like the fact that you have irritated the trees. You shouldn't have done that." And they are going to offer, Eenie, Razvan, you now have a D8.
Oh,
88.
Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, nice. All right.
perfect. I was sorry, no, I was looking at the thing I put in thing. Annoyance could fuck us up.
And the little feline creature is actually going to take the hide action. Next up in the initiative order, I believe, is Razvan, actually, with Onyx on deck.
Oh, Rosalind's first.
Yeah, I think, because you have a +4 and Onyx has a +2, right? Or am I mistaken?
I think Onyx is slightly higher. I think
Oh,
they're,
okay,
like,
then Onyx,
Wait,
then
really?
Razvan. My bad.
What's
Yeah,
this?
Onyx,
Oh, I
then
thought I was
Razvan.
+2.
Oh, is your
Yep,
dex only
no.
+2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well,
my
it
bad.
was-
Then yeah.
Yeah, the .2 on that 23.
Yeah.
It's it means the +2 on dex.
Yeah, So,
yeah, that do make sense.
Razvan, then Onyx.
All right. Knowing that we are now in a bit more dire straits, we didn't really have time to rest. Razvan is going to cast Cure Wounds on himself, kind of whispering to the winds, "Lo, breath of life, deny thy knife," and we will cure minor wounds, or cure wounds rather. We'll just do a simple level. Okay, that's a lot more health than I had. And then using Bardic Inspiration while also having Bardic Inspiration, we'll look towards Onyx. With witty and playful bounces, Onyx opposes all adjuncts that taunt, and we'll give you a point of, or Bardic Inspiration, which is D6.
Thank you.
And that's an action and bonus action. That is Razvan.
Okay. Onyx, it is your turn.
Okay, so we have 5 of these creatures coming towards us.
Correct.
Are they all? I'm guessing there's one that's like closer than the others, or
Yes.
okay. So you just
It looks like, for the record, it looks like there is one coming at each of you, and then an additional one is trailing at the behind by Branson.
okay. I'm going to use not my special quiver that was just given to me, but my original short bow to attack one of the trees. Do that. Okay. Okay, my screen is now loading, but
You rolled
I
a
did
16.
hit roll. So if someone could,
Yeah.
okay,
you rolled a
thank
16.
you.
And that does hit.
For if it gets sneak, it would be 13 damage, if not 9.
I believe in this case it is just 9.
Okay, I have lost roll 20, so I'm just going to relax.
You're good. We will work with it.
All right, I have to verify that I'm a human again.
In the meantime, I correct myself. Yeah, no, Stan was right. Like Onyx had the higher dex. Just I was looking wrong at the.
Do I have?
yeah?
What is my? Oh yeah, no, I think yeah.
You
I
have
wasn't
+5,
looking
no?
at my character.
You have-
Yes,
you
I
have
Got
didn't
it.
realize that. Yeah, I didn't realize that because I leveled up and I completely forgot.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
and I look completely wrong at the stats on the right. Yeah, Stan was right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will just adjust that next round.
Yeah, no, I also completely forgot that because I wasn't looking at my sheet, so I just completely forgot the changes in score since I leveled up.
It's all good.
Oh, I'm back!
You're back.
I'm back.
Hello, roll 20. A 16. How impressive
Okay,
of
come
me.
back.
Okay, what? All right. So I shoot the arrow, it hits, and then,
Which, for the record, as it hits, it kind of gets stuck, lodged between some of the vines. It's hard to see whether or not it's done any significant damage, but it is lodged inside the vines and inside the bark.
have I made it angrier?
You could roll an insight check.
Hey, I'd like to know how it responds.
This will be with disadvantage, though, unfortunately.
Oh.
Oof.
That was bad. That's very bad.
Unfortunately, you don't know how to read trees.
You know, I'm going to, after having loosed that arrow and being faced with an unpredictable enemy, I'm going to take a quick step back.
Okay.
I'm going to hop back and squat behind some foliage, like the cat I am, like the cowardly cat I am.
Ooh, are you going to use your what is
Cunning action?
gosh. Yes, thank you. Cunning action hide?
Oh, I didn't think of that, but go ahead.
You do have a bonus action, yeah.
It is a good move.
Yes, I'm trying to. Is it? Trying to locate it on my roll 20 sheet.
To save you some time, basically, as
Thank you.
as an extra action, you can take one of these are the 3 that are most useful to you. Dash, which will double your movement so you can get farther away from the thing. Hide,
Yeah.
which will conceal you based on if you roll a good stealth roll and they roll a bad perception. Or you can take the disengage, so they have disadvantage on hitting you and they can't actually. Actually, no. To get disadvantage, that's the dodge action. To make sure that none of them are close enough to you, so you don't take the disengage. So, probably hide or dodge would be what you want.
Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing any of that on my sheet. Do I just like use my stealth?
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
if you are
My stealth
taking
score
the
is
high
really pretty good.
yes, so
Yes.
yes,
See?
okay. Excellent. All right.
I'm
And
very
with
good at
that,
hiding.
it's gonna see if it can perceive you, and it loses you in the foliage. So it's going to turn its attention to, in the marching order, who is first?
Probably Humphrey.
Humphrey? Okay. Razvan. It turns its attention towards you. And it is going to lumber towards you, and you notice that it is very tree-like in the way that its roots almost pull it like dig into the dirt and pull it towards you. Slowly, very, very slowly, but it does in fact reach you. And it stops at about 10 feet away, and it throws out one of its appendages, I believe it's a best way to word that. And it attempts to aim at your ankles. I would love for you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
21.
Ooh, good save. You prepared for it. You watch as it goes for your ankles, and as if on cue, you jump and dodge out of the way as it attempts to coil its vines around you to no avail. And that is its turn. The next one goes after Branson. And that is going to lumber towards you. And just like you saw the one aiming towards Razvan, it comes after you, but it's so slow. It's so slow. And as it reaches out to try to coil, to try to grapple almost at you, like it's aiming to grip at your arm, it fails. It fails miserably. It does not meet your AC. It goes after you again, missing with its other arm. Arm appendage. Appendage is a good word.
Listen,
Li-
Branson may be on a undead like hate quest, but his next greatest enemy is trees.
The other one next to you, Branson, is gonna lumber forward, and I need another dex save from you this time.
14?
Unfortunately, you find one of its vines does manage to wrap around your ankle, and you are now considered grappled. That is all it is able to do on its turn.
I was about to say, cue Rorschach gift meme.
The other one, aiming at Razvan, also lumbers forward, but you watch as it begins to dig its roots further into the ground, seeming to almost shrink as its branches lower and lower and lower. And that is all it does on its turn. And the last one moves towards Humphrey, lumbering still. And I need a dexterity saving throw from Humphrey.
Will do. That's an 18.
18. You also manage to dodge out of the way as it reaches out to wrap its vines around you. And now it is going all the way up. Sorry.
You good?
It is now Branson's turn with Humphrey on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Branson just looks at this one ahead of him, and you'll notice that he is not as angry as usual, but you will see one of his staples as his eyes start to radiate that that black lightning as. He hexes the one directly in front of him, and then he's gonna swing with his axe.
Okay.
Oh, come on, that's a 12.
Unfortunately, a 12 does not hit.
That's all I can do.
All right. Humphrey, it's your turn.
Humphrey takes off. I mean, do we start with other weapons out, or?
I would assume you've got you. Even if you didn't, I would assume you honestly have enough time to pull it out because
Perfect.
they're not exactly the most. You don't have to do a read on it to be able to tell that this isn't exactly the most dexterous creature.
Yeah, Humphrey unsheaths with the rapier and the dagger out, both of them the silvered ones. He goes for a stab against the tree with the rapier,
Okay.
the one that tried to grab him. Rapier. 7.
What are these attack
It
rolls, man?
it coils its vine around your rapier and sort of bats it away. Like not out of your hands, but just bats it away. Just like, no. Not allowed.
And with a bonus action of hand attack, going with the dagger.
Okay.
7.
Once again, it kind of just bats your dagger away. Like, no, you're not doing that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
Humphrey just evaluates his options, but yeah, that's turn.
Okay. Top of the order. Your feline friend, Annoyance, pops its head out of the bush and yells, "Why don't you try and hit that thing? It's right there. It's right there in front of you." And Humphrey, you get 1d8 of inspiration.
Very inspirational.
Just hit harder, forehead.
And it ducks
Have you
back
tried
down to
not
the foliage.
missing?
Basically. And it
And the
ducks
cat
back
from
down.
the back said skill issue.
Good one, Sam.
And it ducks back down into the foliage and takes the hide action. Before the next one goes, the next being Onyx, you all feel a tremor under your feet.
Oh.
And I would like all of you to roll me dexterity saving throws. Branson, you will do yours with disadvantage.
Why would you do this to
Ow.
me? He's already bad at this.
Soft 20.
I can use the bardic inspiration, right?
You can.
24.
I will.
15.
13
Watch
total
me
for
do
me.
graceful backflips with my dexterity throw.
As vines and roots begin to shoot up in the ground all around you, all but Humphrey are able to dodge out of the way. Humphrey, you find these thorny thickets and these thorny roots, very prickly roots, come out and like jab upwards at you. You take you got very lucky. You take a total of 12 points of piercing damage.
That was lucky. Yeah, it hurts.
And Onyx, it is now your turn with Razvan on deck.
Okay, so I'm guessing I've jumped out of my hiding spot now that the roots have started popping up.
Sure.
Are these roots dynamic? Like, do they keep stabbing up and moving, or have they settled?
They have settled.
Okay. Try something. I am going to stab at instead of the trees, I'm going to attack the vines in front of me.
Okay.
Yes, with a dagger. And that's a 15.
That'll hit.
7 piercing damage.
Actually, no, you
Managed
came out
to-
hide. That would give you sneak.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. So that's 12. 12 points total. I imagine as you come out and you stab it with your dagger, you actually manage because these are much thinner, much smaller than the appendage-like branches. You manage to just slice one off, and it falls limp to the ground and writhes and coils, much like I described before with the dead insect analogy.
I also want to see if like those roots are connected to those trees or if that affected the nearest tree in any way. Can I do an insight?
That would not be an insight, and that would be an action. That would be an investigation check.
Oh. Okay.
You still have a bonus action and some movement. What would you like to do, if anything?
Let's see. Hmm. I am tempted to go back into hiding, but is there a tree with a branch somewhere near me? Higher ground?
I would say it's probably about 10 feet away from you since you darted back.
Okay, I want to. Okay, so I'm going to try to jump up to find some higher ground on some foliage. After
Sorry,
stabbing.
can you?
I was going to. Yeah, I'm going to jump up to find some higher ground on the foliage.
There's not really any higher ground without climbing trees, and that would take an action.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to back away. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
How many feet would you say? Like 5 feet? 10 feet?
5 feet.
Okay.
Still
Okie
clutching
doke.
my dagger.
Sounds good. Okie dokie. Razvan, you're up.
Razvan is going to quickly head over towards Onyx, try and help protect.
Okay.
And in doing so, oh, go ahead.
Just note that that's going to trigger an attack of opportunity.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. That will not hit, and that will not hit.
Okay. Then getting about 5 feet away, so just maybe a little bit distance between the various foliage around us, as well between them and Onyx. Razvan's going to cast Cloud of Daggers directly kind of in the space in front of Onyx and Razvan.
Good.
Okay.
So anything stepping into that area or already in that area will take 44 slashing until the spell's effect ends, or the first time they start their turn or end their turn there.
Go ahead and roll.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it's already done. 6 damage.
Okay. Okay.
But that technically won't take effect until the start of their turn.
For sure. For sure.
And
Anything else you would like to do?
I don't think so. We only have one more bardic inspiration. We're going to keep it just in case. So that's Razvan's turn.
You watch as the creature that dug its roots and its branches into the ground actually, from all of its appendages that are sticking up in the ground, is dealt the damage as your cloud of daggers slashes at it. And it falls to the ground
All right.
with a loud thud. The next one was originally moving towards you. It is going to continue to lumber towards you, and it is going to take the six slashing.
Okay.
And it is going to once again require a dex save from you as it tries to once again reach out to grab you.
19.
You manage to dodge with no problem.
At this point, I just imagine Razvan's tap dancing out of the way of these.
One hand holding top of his hat.
Yeah.
And then the next two. Oh my gosh. All right. We really did. The first roll of the night was really mid, and that is where we're at tonight. The first one, Lumbers, continues to like almost throw its limbs at you, Branson, but again with its slow speed, you manage to just kind of bat them off to the side.
I just imagine a shoulder check.
Yeah, basically. But the second one does actually manage to swing its arm, and you are not grappled, but for narrative's sake, it kind of grips at your wrist, and you could feel its thorns dig into you as it deals. Got off really lucky. 7 points of piercing damage.
You say that, but I didn't get a heal, so, Branson is particularly bloody, but, I will just, do my con check, because we were very bad about that last time. 15, so I should be good.
You're good.
Yeah, his eye's still lightning.
And the last one moves to attack Humphrey. Okay. It sort of writhes and twists awkwardly, and it moves in a way that you've not seen from it before it sort of, how do I want to describe this? It sort of twitches, like ceasing its movement, and as it twitches, what I can only describe to be like a rain of thorns and like bark fragments are launched at you, but I'm like 99.9% sure that does not meet your armor class, as that is only a 14.
Yeah, that does not meet.
You managed to not get hit. Bringing us to Branson's turn.
Second verse, same as the first. Swinging two-handed at the one directly in front of him and not to the side. Yeah, second verse is exactly the same as Thirst, because that's a 9, so I still can't hit this thing.
Which
Yeah.
I just realized I forgot to do a grapple check real quick. That's competing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I will choose to do athletics.
Yeah. Good timing, better than any, because it's this one. It manages to beat you. I'm so sorry. You are still grappled.
He wasn't moving. He's doing his job. He is focusing fire. Unfortunately, he's bad at it today because Roll20 doesn't want to give me any good rolls for attacks. And I can't do anything for a bonus. Wait.
Correct me if I am wrong, but I believe that breaking a grapple is an active action, not just a
Correct.
check. Yeah. And you're choosing to attack anyway, so.
The grapple check is not on Branson's turn. Like I said, I forgot to do it.
Yeah.
This was a check it was supposed to be on the creature's turn. That's my bad.
Right.
essentially maintaining the grapple, if you will.
Well, then I will just do the only thing I can do because I still at least have a bonus action. Offhand with his hand axe, he just brings up one of his normal ones, not the silvered ones, and boom.
That
50?
hits.
Okay, finally. So that's 4 plus do. So 10 damage altogether.
How do you want to kill this thing?
Branson literally just swings, misses without missing a beat like it's a practice motion. He just takes one hand off of the handle of his axe, grabs the other one, brings it up, and just brings it down on this thing's head.
If it even has a head.
The closest thing.
And it falls to the ground with a loud, trembling crash.
And then he just swings his head over with his, like, lightning glowing eyes at the other one next to him. It's just like, you're next. I said so.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
Basically, I would say he just puts that axe back on his belt because he's wanting to dual wield his, two-hand his main weapon.
Okie dokie. Humphrey, it's your turn.
Question, because I like keeping track of surroundings because we don't have a battle map. I am just fighting one-on-one with one of the trees, or is
Correct.
any other of the? Oh,
No,
right.
the other. So the of the other two remaining, one is after Razvan, and the other one is after Branson.
And none of them are immediately within 10 feet of me, right?
One of them is within 10 feet reach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Humphrey, seeing that his previous attack did not work at all, instead of giving up, giving into frustration, as he has been gaining some confidence back from the last fight, he steps for a second and takes stock on the fact that he's been learning so far that he can't fight as he's used to. He has to work with what he has given, and same as with learning how to move upstairs and trying to avoid using the flexibility of his body, he is going to put all of his inner strength and just trying to lash out with as much reach as he can. And for that, I am going to use one key point, and when I use Arm of the Astral Self.
Let's go.
Gummo no rapier.
So you
What
see
is-
basically Humphrey exploding a whirlwind of of flashing tentacles.
I have to ask: are the what do they look like? What do the tentacles look like?
They are it is the astral arms, so they're gonna be just two large tentacles, but they have grabby hands at the end. It's like two big fists.
Amazing, incredible.
And what is there? They have to roll a dex save against. Let me check again which one was my.
You can use your modifier instead, or dexterity modifier.
No. I mean, the taking out the arms. It's an area attack. It's any enemies within 10 feet of me, and I'm checking
correct.
the. Yeah.
Yes, it's the dex saving throw or take force damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial die.
Yeah. So it is here, and
fails.
the DC is 14.
Fails. Fails. What does it look like as you kill this creature?
The attack is not graceful at all. It's just a whirlwind of hits. As Humphrey explodes into basically an AoE. Just slapped around and breaks into pieces.
Sure does.
And that is my bonus action. I still have
That is your
action.
bonus action.
The thing is, the two arms are still out and will be for the rest of the fight. So you see now the tiny Humphrey with two 10-foot long tentacles hovering around him, and he looks at the other one. He's attacking. Razvan is the one beside me, right?
Correct.
And I get to attack that one with the rapier, and because I have an ally, it's a 12. I don't think I hit.
You do not, unfortunately.
Ah. Humphrey will miss that attack again. I assume he's just trying to center himself after exploding. And realizing that he now has more arms to work with. Like, huh, I guess I can do that one now. That's turn.
That's turn. All right, top of the turn order. We start with the little man. Man question mark. They never stated their gender. What even is gender for a cat?
I would say
Feline creature pops. Huh?
I was gonna say all cats identify as problems.
That is so true. That is so true. There's a reason you called this creature an annoyance. Annoyance pops its head out of the bushes, looks over at Razvan and goes, that's terrifying. Looks over at Branson. That's also terrifying. Looks over at Onyx. You can do better. You get in there. What are you doing? Why aren't you fighting? Shame on you. And you get a D8
I don't see you
of
doing
inspiration.
anything.
You get a D8 of inspiration.
I am tempted to try to hurl the cat at the tree. I'm very sorry, but I literally want to. I am bigger. As a tabaxi, I am larger.
You
My
are
paws
bigger. You are bigger. This cat. This is like cat size. Annoyance is like cat size.
What would it take for me to throw annoyance at a tree?
You'd have to catch them first.
Friends, are you faring well enough that I can chase this cat?
Yeah.
Seeing the look in your eyes, Onyx, you watch as Annoyance's ears
I
turn
use
back
dash.
and it
I use dash. At the cat.
its ears go back and it tucks back down, taking the hide action. It is afraid. And with that, before Onyx, it is your turn. You notice as the other trees, not the creatures that you have been fighting, but the other trees seem to be bending and waving and moving. Onyx, it is now your turn.
Okay, I have now darted after this cat that's hidden itself, and now I notice the moving trees. Okay.
You are going to, if you are going to try to spot the spot Annoyance, it is going to require a perception check, and that is an action.
Yes, I'm gonna use my action. I'm sorry, friends. I need this cat. Okay, I'm gonna use my perception to find this future weapon that could help us if we toss it at a tree. So, please, please, please. No, it's a 6.
I'm so sorry. You look
Well,
into the foliage and you do not
actually
see.
I can point out
Huh?
Annoyance did give them a bardic inspiration.
That is true. Do you want to use your bardic inspiration?
So I get to roll like a d8, correct?
Mhm.
And you get to add it to your perception check, yes, if you want to.
I do want to. I'm going to do that.
All right, go for it.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
it rolled twice.
Sorry. Yeah,
okay.
Momo, my cat's here.
Oh, good. True cat-on-cat violence.
See, there you go, Robot. You got what you wish.
He is napping on like the.
So unfortunately, you do look into the bushes and you do not see the sign of the gray feline creature.
I regret nothing.
You still have a bonus action and movement if, well, you used your movement. You have a bonus action if you would like.
Okay, I've noticed now that the trees have started moving,
Mm-hmm.
and I cannot find this accursed creature. So, for my bonus, I'm going to roll stealth and hide from the new trees that are acting up. Good, good. 21.
All
Great.
right,
Someone
21.
stronger. Someone stronger. Good luck with the new trees. Those of you with magic and stuff. Please.
All right,
Something.
it's Razvan's turn.
All right. Razvan is going to be kind of looking towards the creatures, still trying to use the cloud of daggers for some sort of cover. Realizing Onyx is doing Onyx things again, Razvan's going to look towards the assailant closest and cast Dissonant Whispers on them.
Ooh.
One of my
Need to make a
favorite
DC
spells.
14 Wisdom save, which I'm actually going to use a point of Bardic Inspiration to enact a Sorrowful Fate, which will actually change it to a Charisma save for them.
They still fail with a natural 1.
Ooh, nice.
And that will do 13 points of psychic damage to them.
How would you like to defeat this thing?
With a shouted, or with a first chanted word, he will begin to empower the air around him with the verbiage Memento Mori, and will stab forward with the rapier with a boon of sonic energy piercing into the creature and bringing it low.
As it falls to the ground. Well done. Anything else you would like to do?
I don't think so. I don't think I have any more actions I can take. So that is Razvan.
All right. Last one. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw from Branson.
Okay, should I also roll for the grapple?
You should. No, the grapple's done.
Okay.
The one that was grappling you is now no longer moving.
Okay, I just had to make sure. Okay, so you said dex. Do. Yeah, that's about right. 12.
Unfortunately, it wraps its vines around your ankles. That is its turn. It is now your turn.
Is it within striking distance?
It is 10 feet. 10 feet away.
Well then, I mentioned this beforehand when we were talking about spells, and Branson, I'd also like to point out all of you, this is the first time you've ever been in a combat where Branson has not been screaming in a frothing rage, and the only thing that's normal about him is the, aura around his eyes. He's just going to look at this thing, and you're going to see that bolt of lightning, shoot from his forehead out to this thing. Mind Spike, I pressed the wrong button, so...
No worries.
Where are you? I know you're close. There. No. There it is. DC 14 Wisdom save, or it takes 17 damage.
That's a failure. How would you like to kill this thing?
You guys literally see a bolt of black and blue lightning shoot from Branson's forehead, hit this thing in the closest approximation of where its head would be, and then it just goes up in flames, and Branson's like, we need to go, and just starts running.
And with that, initiative has come to an end. Technically.
For Citric and Zan, Branson's literally like, we should go. I'm going to go. I'm Commander Shepard.
Razvan will look for Onyx, not obviously seeing Onyx, will, with your permission, Citric, pick up Humphrey and start running to follow.
Humphrey is actually a little bit stunned himself. He now has 2 more arms, like really long ones. And he's like, "Oh, what do I do now?"
What have I become?
And we'll run with Humphrey to follow Branson.
Yeah, with the 2 tentacles just dragging behind.
Describe the length of these tentacles.
10 feet.
Can I grab onto one as they're making their escape from wherever I'm hiding, considering that it's 10 feet long?
That's a great question. Are they
Technically not. We are flavoring it
Okay.
as Humphrey, like sprouting physical arms, but they are.
Okay,
They are
yeah.
astral arms. They are meant to be
Okay.
untangible, except when they punch you.
Oh, great.
I'm just imagining Onyx trying to grab onto them in the way that cats do and like pouncing and not succeeding.
Chasing the red laser.
Yeah.
Okay, as I miss, I still race towards you in your direction. I hop out of my hiding place and follow.
And as much as I would love to continue moving forward, I have been alerted that one of our players does need to wrap up. So with you all moving down the road, running, who knows where to, and with no sign of the hiding, as you worded it, annoyance, this is where I think would be the best place for us to end tonight's session.
Whew.
Get back at that cat next time, you'll see.
Yay.
But yeah, no, great session.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, had some rocky starts, but we got there in the end.
An actual tornado. That's not something.
Yeah, I'm glad a tornado did not impact your home.
Yeah.
All right, well, Sheila, why
It's
don't you go
fucking
first, and
windy.
then Zan?
Okay. No complaints from me. I mean, I had a wonderful time despite not getting to use.
Hey.
Oh, wait, oh, sorry.
Signing
I
off.
forgot that we're not
You're
doing.
good.
Yeah,
You're good.
I forgot we're doing the sign off. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get dressed for my graduation at this thing at the same time.
This is exactly why we're wrapping up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm mugimira.cause. You can find me anywhere on. You can find me only on Instagram. And yeah, that's mostly for my cosplay.
Sam, go.
And then,
Hi, you could find me. I'm Xanalis Grimm. You can find me not tomorrow, but next Monday over on my channel at twitch.tv/AnalystGrim. Over at 7 p.m. PST, I'll be getting back to Stalwart Souls, which is a D&D game I run with me and my friends. If you're interested in that, there's that. Tuesdays, I'm going to be continuing on Edward Bosco's channel, twitch.tv/EdwardBosco, at around 5 p.m. PST for more Halo Lasso, Halo 5 Lasso to be specific. And then Thursdays, I am going to be returning to Mad Mage, Dungeon of the Mad Mage on Monty Glue's channel at twitch.tv/MontyGlue at around 7 p.m. PST. If you like really late game D&D content, D&D 5th edition content, that's there for you. And that's me. I will toss it to Citric.
Me, I'm Citric King. You can find me everywhere at Citric King, and everywhere being Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and other places. If you look hard enough. Keep an eye open. Early June, you would probably see commissions slots opening. Other than that, I am here every other Sunday playing again as my blowy boy, and that's pretty much me. So going back to Zeris.
Hi. I'm all over the internet at TixDixel. I am here every other Saturday, assuming things don't happen. Doing No Love War Extra. And then every second and fourth Sunday, I'm here doing exactly what we just did as your lovely, lovely brewer of horror. And that's pretty much everything on my end. So, Vaughn, why don't you take us out?
I will. Hey, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. For this week, not sure how many streams we're going to have. We're still figuring out, as in I was being messaged during this session, if we are going to do Wizard Sips Plays. I will try to keep you posted. If we do it, it'll be on Zymocyte's channel. So be prepared for that. Aside from that, we then have Phase of Our Lives on Tuesday, where we're not murder hobos, but we are hobos, and we have committed at least 2 murders. Group are just trying to do our job, which is apparently also to specifically murder 3 hags. It's a whole thing. We're trying to figure it out. But if you like that and you want to see us be weird and crazy, come for that. And then on Saturday, we have Saved by the Spell, where I am the only... Well, no. One person knows that we are about to cater a mob wedding. My character doesn't even know that there's a catering contest. There's going to be a whole lot to explain, and we don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see what happens there. But for Raid, why don't we go to a very good bean who streams a lot, but they don't have a super big audience, so I want to give them some love here. Let me see what they're streaming. They're streaming a very specific game, Fire Pro Wrestling, but it's a fun little Japanese game. Sasquatch Rings. So what should be our Raid message? How about
Cat versus cat?
Yeah, cat versus cat. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We will see you again in another week's time. Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.